Please, that is enough I've had. So we need to move on straight away. So last time we looked at communication, and then after communication we also talked about transport. So before we start with what we intend to look at today, we would love to review what we talked about last time. I would wish you to remind me what we looked at last time, especially what we said about communication, because today we are going to summarize with this a unit, and then we shall start another one next week. So before we move on to what we intend to look at today, who can remind us what we said about communication? What is communication? And we say that the best way to give the answer is by raising your hand up. And I would request that the rest write their answers down in the chat, and then I will be able to read them out. So what is communication? Please put your answer in the chat, and then I shall be able to read it for you. What is communication? What is communication? What is communication? I've just doing it today. So for me, I handle literacy. That's my area. In primary, I do handle, in primary 4 and above, I do handle science. So that's it for now. So last time we talked about communication, and then we went and talked about transport. So I was asking members to write what they know about communication, and I'm happy that Musimenta has already given us the answer here. The rest have not submitted theirs. Musimenta said that communication is the sending and receiving of messages. The answer is very correct. We also talked about the types of communication, where we said there are 2 types of communication. That is modern communication and then local communication. We are not going to go in details for that, but we are going to go straight and remember also what we said about transport. What is transport? Because that's what we looked at last time. What is transport? Please put your answer in the chat. I'll be able to read it out. Put your answer in the chat. What is communication? What is communication? What is communication? Please write your answer in the chat. I see Pop's hand up.
Communication.
Transport.
Transport is the movement of people and their goods from one place to another.
Movement of people and their goods from one place to another. The answer is correct. The answer is correct. As simple as that. So that is what we talked about last time. We went ahead and talked about the types of transport. Briefly, can we mention these types of transport? By raising your hand. Types of transport. Yes, Nasali.
Railway transport.
Railway transport. Nathan.
Road transport.
Road transport, Lena.
Railway transport.
Please follow instructions. If I've not asked you to speak, don't speak. So we have the railway transport, the water transport, and then the road transport, and the also air transport. So those are the four types of transport which we have been talking about. Now today we are going to continue with the water transport. That is what we are going to continue with. So what did we say about water transport? The means. What are the means of water? And then we keep it there. Write your answer in the chat. We are looking at the types, the means of water transport. Water transport. Means of water transport. Nursery. That ship, which is very correct. Those yes, there is one. I was telling you that there is one called the doors. We have the doors. We also have the canoes. We have the boats, and also which other? Those are the main examples of what are the means of water transport. So these are the ones that we have. We have the boat. I hope everyone is able to follow. These are the means of water transport. The things that we use to move in water. We have the boat, the ship. We also have the canoe. We also have the ferry. You can use a ferry to cross a water body, maybe crossing a river. You can use a ferry to cross a river. You can use a ship. You can use a ship to bring vehicles, bring a lot of things from outside, and bring something from Europe, bringing it to Uganda. So you can use a ship to bring those things all the way from Europe up to Africa. So just like that. So it is the work of the ship. The ship is the biggest water vessel. It is the biggest water vessel. It takes long on the way. It doesn't just move so fast. It's slow. It moves slowly. So we have the ship. So the ship is the biggest of all water vessels that we use for transport. And then for the case of the ferry you can put there very many things. A ferry can cross school buses plus even other vehicles. It's people and even their goods all together. So even a ferry can carry very many things, but the ship is bigger than the ferry. The ship is bigger than the ferry. Maybe we shall need to look at some of these things. Like I know some of you might have not known what a ship is, and also a canoe, and also the door. The doors are simple like that. So I see Lena's hand up. Lena, what is it? Lena, do you have anything to say? Okay. Okay, she has lowered it down. So these are the means of water transport. We have the boat. Most of us have ever seen boats. And then we have the ship, we have the canoe, we have the ferry, and then we have the doors. And someone may be asking that, what is a canoe? What is a canoe? A canoe is a small boat. These are small boats. They are small boats, usually having pointed sides. It is pointed from the in front and also pointed from behind. That one is called the canoe. The one which is very small, a small boat, usually pointed at the end parts. Pointed from in front and also pointed from behind. Maybe allow me share my screen so that I may stop sharing first, and then I show you so that you may see this. You may see some of these things. So this one you're seeing here, these are doors. It is also a water vessel that we use for moving in water. So this one is called a door. Only that people sometimes say, everything that passes in water, they call it a boat. They have different names. So this one is called the door. These are doors. You find they have masts. Some of them have two masts put aside. The mast is a piece of cloth. Mast is a piece of cloth. So this is a door. Those are doors, as you can see them. Doors. And then we also have the canoe. I think we need to look at the canoe, should be here. So is a canoe. I was telling you that for the case of the canoe, it is a small boat which is pointed on the end sides. It is pointed on the end sides and it is open on top, as you can see this one. It's just open on top here. So this one is this is the canoe. It is used in water for you to move in water. So that is it. Then the other one that most people also don't know is the door. We have the door. The doors, we have already talked about the door. Maybe we need to look at the ship. And the ship is the biggest of all. So this one. So for the case of the ship, this one passes only in big water bodies. They cannot pass in Lake Victoria. They cannot pass in oceans. In P5, you'll know more about Lake Victoria and the other things. For now, we may not go in details for that, but we just need to know and to see that this is a ship. This is a ship, as simple as that. So this is a ship that we use to transport things right away from Europe. You can bring them from any place. You bring them to to Africa, to Uganda, to any country in Uganda. So here inside there are very many things. Inside are this ship. So those are the things. Yes, please. Yes.
What is a ferry? What is a ferry?
A ferry is also a water vessel. It is one of the means of transport which we use to move, to cross a water body. Usually it is just crossing the water. We cross from this side to the other. You can, especially rivers, you can cross using that ferry. You can cross using a ferry. A ferry can carry a bus or buses, plus even cars. As simple as that. But again, it is not bigger than this one. A ship is bigger than a ferry. So for the case of the ferry, a ferry, we just use a ferry to cross the water body, to cross from this side to the other side only. But this one is used to carry things, goods and services, most of them all the way from a far place. This one can take years on the way. If not years, it can even go for months, like 6 months. When the ship is still on the way, it is the slowest means of transport. When we continue, you will get to know that there is the fastest means of transport, the commonest means of transport, and then the slowest means of transport. So far, it is water transport which is the slowest. If they ask you to mention the type of transport which is the slowest, simply say it is water transport. And then if they ask about the fastest type of transport, this one should be air transport. And then the commonest, which very many people use, this one is the road transport. That's why most of us use road transport. As simple as that. So let me stop sharing, and then I reshare. Okay. So let's continue. So these are the means of transport. We have the boat. Ask you, you simply say boat, ship, canoe, a ferry, and then the doors. With the doors, those are the ones you see having pieces of cloth on top. That one is the door, and then the canoe. This one is just sharp on both sides. It is pointed on both front and behind. Can you mute your microphone? Okay, so let's. Let's move on. So the other one is the
Teacher.
telling you that the submarine is the one that passes inside the water. Always when an accident, maybe a boat has capsized, it is always the submarine. We have the submarine forces that come and look for those people who have died in water. So there is a submarine, they use that machine passing inside in the water. So that is the submarine. So it is also one of the means of transport. You can download all these images at your own pace, and then you will be able to see these images. You just download them and then you study them very well, how they work during your own free time. As simple as that. But the most important thing is understanding the means of transport, and these are the ones. The other time we talked about the means of road transport and also air transport. Now today we are talking about means of water transport, and these are the ones. In your examination, we shall ask you to mention some of them and also be able to spell correctly. Be able to spell correctly. So we need to look at something different, and that is railway transport. The means of railway transport.
Teacher,
Yes, please.
I want to see the submarine.
I have not yet downloaded, but you can download it later. You just download, you type there submarine, and then you will be able to see the submarine. Or if not, next time I will show you that one.
Okay.
So let's talk about the means of railway transport. Railway transport. Means of railway transport. If you know any, you raise up your hand. Yes, Camila. If you know any, yes, Pop.
A train.
Correct. She has told us that a train, and the answer is correct. Another one. If there is any. So usually for the case of the railway transport, that one always uses a train. It is mostly the train. And then we also have the wagon. We have the train and then the wagons. These wagons are just those containers from behind. So you find out that those containers can be pulled by even these other animals, like the oxen, the bulls or donkeys, camels. They can also pull those things. They can pull those containers, and those containers are the ones we call the wagons. As simple as. So when they ask you to mention the means of railway transport, apart from saying train, you can also say wagon. Wagon and then the train. So those two are the means of railway transport. In primary 3, we shall look at their advantages. We shall look at their advantages. I don't want to see anybody writing anyhow, causing disorganization, because I will remove you completely. I've not told anybody to write. You've spoiled my screen. Can you rub it faster? So we are talking about the means of railway transport, and we say there are two. We're told that is the train, and that is the right spelling of the word, train. And then the other one is the wagon. As simple as that. That is the wagon. So when you look at transport, you get to realize that there are some terms that are used in transport. Terms like, there are terms like pedestrian. We have the word pedestrian. Who can tell us the meaning of the word pedestrian? We have the word like pedestrian. Those are some of the words that we have. We have the word like pedestrian. If you know the answer, you can raise up your hand. Pedestrian. Who is a pedestrian? Who is a pedestrian? Who is a pedestrian? So let's take a look at these terms. This is a pedestrian. I see two people have raised their hands. Let me give this one to Joeria. Joeria, who is a pedestrian?
Pedestrian is people which walk on foot.
People who walk on foot. From where? The answer is correct, by the way. The answer is correct. Let me hear from Pope also. Who is a pedestrian?
A pedestrian is a person who walks on foot on the road.
A person who walks on foot. I say Jasmine. Jasmine, who is a pedestrian? Yes, Jasmine.
Yes.
Yes, Jasmine. Can you go on?
Who
A person who walks along the road. So this is what we can say. If it is one person, if they are saying who is a pedestrian, you can say is a person who walks alongside the road. And then if there are very many, you will say pedestrians are people who walk alongside the road. Those ones pass along the pavement. The pavement is supposed to be for them, and the pavement is supposed to be for pedestrians. So in primary 6, we shall learn again this in English. We shall learn road safety, even I think P5. So we shall learn more about pedestrians, the pavement, the zebra crossing, and so many other parts used in
Teacher, I'm seeing nothing on my screen.
You do what?
Don't touch.
You just talk.
So I was saying, who is a sailor? Who is a sailor? And Joeria's hand is up. I don't know if she wants to tell us the answer. Joeria, who is a sailor?
Sailor is people who move in the car.
Who is a
Not
sailor?
really.
A sailor.
Sailors.
Sailor is a person who moves.
Let me hear from Jasmine, who are sailors? Who are sailors? Jasmine is not speaking. Let me give to Lena, who is a sailor.
A sailor is a sailor who sails a boat.
A person who sails a boat. But here we say that is a person who operates the train. Who operates the train. As simple as that.
Just coaching my daughter on how to use their classes.
Let me hear from Faith.
A sailor is a person who operates a ship.
Person who operates a ship. It is correct. Sailor is the person who operates a ship. It is very correct. In a sea. Let's move to
Why not?
passenger. Who is a passenger? Yes. I see some people's hands up. Let me hear from Gloria. Who is a passenger?
You know those ones. That's good.
Who is a passenger?
Passengers are
Who
people
are
who move. Passengers are the people who are in a car. I have nothing in my screen.
Faith? Faith, who is a passenger? If it is one person, called a passenger. If there are very many,
Passenger is a person who sits in a car.
a passenger, if it is one, we say is a person. If it is one person, if it is one, we say it's a person who travels. Is a person who travels in vehicles, buses, etc. Those are passengers. Please, Lena, can you try to mute your microphone? Because you're speaking and we are really getting disorganized. So that's it. So let's move on. the last part that we are supposed to look at is just this. You need to know this. One, this is what I was telling you at first when we started. I want someone to read for us this. Let me ask Gloria, can you read for us that note? Yes, Gloria. Okay, she's not able to speak. Georgina?
I don't know.
Okay. Nathan, can you read for us that statement? You first unmute, then you speak. Yes? Nathan is not speaking. Bradley? Bradley, can you read for us that statement?
The commonest type of transport is road transport.
The commonest type of transport is road transport. As simple as that. So if they ask you in your examination that name the commonest type of transport, you simply have to say it is road transport. This is what I was talking about earlier before we came here. And then this one, the quickest means of transport, the quickest means. If they talk about means, not a type, there is also saying the quickest type of transport. If we say quickest type of transport, it is air transport. If they talk about means, you don't say air transport, you say an aeroplane. An aeroplane is the quickest means of transport. But if it is the type, if we say name the quickest type of transport, please let's say air transport. Air transport is the quickest type of transport. But if it is means, you have to say an aeroplane. As simple as that. And then lastly, we also need to know this. The slowest type of transport. I was showing you a ship. I told you that
Transport.
Slowest type of transport is water transport. And I was showing you a ship some time back. I told you that this one can even take a month when it is still on the way, moving slowly. So water transport is the slowest type of transport. It is the slowest
Teacher,
type of,
too fast.
it is the slowest type of transport. Oh, someone is saying that we are moving so fast. So we started with this one. We say that the commonest type of transport, the commonest means the one which people use every time and everywhere, is the road transport. Most people move on the roads than they move in water and in air. So that is what we mean by being the commonest, the one which is commonly used by very many people in the area. So that one is called road transport. And then the quickest means, if it is just means, it is an aeroplane. If it is the type, quickest type of transport, we simply say air transport. If it is means, it is an aeroplane. As simple as that. So we looked at all those things. And then the slowest type of transport is water transport. Okay. So let's move on. We need to have an activity and then we shall call it an engagement. We shall just go through these questions faster, and then we shall be able to answer these questions correctly. And then we move on. So let me ask Naomi to read first this question. When we started, we discussed this transport, and everyone knows the answer. We are not going to repeat the answers. We are just going to read the questions. I want to see who was attentive, by the time you submit your work. Who was attentive, and also those who attended the previous lessons, you have this work, all of it. So let's hear from Naomi. Read first that question. You unmute, then speak. I see your hand up, by the way. Okay, she's not speaking. Okay. Come again.
What is transport?
What is transport? That's good. Let's move on to the next question. I want to, Lena, can you read first that one? Lena is not speaking. Can I hear from Jasmine?
Name any 3 means of water transport.
That's Nathan, thank you. Any 3 means of water transport. We looked at this, so we are not going to repeat them. Shall not repeat them. Another question, Jasmine, read first that one.
Mention any means of railway transport.
Mention any one means of railway transport. That's it. Kunihira is going to read for this one. That one. Kunihira.
What is that?
Can you read for that question?
State the common units of transport. That's the one.
Okay, I was asking Kunihira, but Camila has told us that's the commonest means of transport. That is the question. And then we also have this one. In our notes, I said I gave you that the commonest or the quickest means of transport is an aeroplane. But now here in our question, we have the quickest type of transport. So you shouldn't copy that and put it there again, aeroplane. If you put there aeroplane, that one becomes a means and it will be wrong. So you must be able to differentiate between a type of transport and then a means of transport. As simple as that. So that is that. Identify the quickest type of transport. As simple as that. So I expect everyone to do that assignment and also write the other work and then submit. I always ask you to submit through email, but some people do not submit theirs. It is very important for you to submit it through email other than WhatsApp. Other than WhatsApp. It's difficult to respond via WhatsApp because there are a lot of messages that enter here and there. So make sure, if possible, try as much as you can to submit it through email. We shall be looking at different ways of finding ways of submitting these assignments and having them marked very well as we continue. As simple as. So I see Nasan's hand up. Any question?
Teacher.
Yes.
Teacher.
Yes.
What about via WhatsApp?
Via WhatsApp. I was telling you can submit
What
via WhatsApp. And most people,
via WhatsApp?
Yeah, I was telling you this. That most people prefer WhatsApp, but it is difficult to respond via WhatsApp because there are a lot of messages that enter there, that come in and there, so there is a lot of distraction. So it would be better if it is email. However, maybe for the start, those who are not able to send via email can send theirs via WhatsApp. If you're not able to send, but I prefer email better. Then this is the last question. That is the last question. It says, give the slowest type of transport. So we looked at all that and we are not going to repeat that. So once more, I want to thank everyone for
Teacher.
Listen. Yes.
So
Yes, Camila.
teacher,
Yes.
can you put back the work? I want to.
You wanted to do what?
The questions.
No, I'm going to send the work via WhatsApp. You will open and then you copy that work.
What is the WhatsApp number?
No, there is in the WhatsApp group of primary 2. We shall send the work there, the WhatsApp group. However, we have come to the end of the engagement. You just submit the work there.
Okay.
You will get the work in the WhatsApp group. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for attending this engagement for today. We shall meet next time.
Thank you, teacher.
God bless you. God bless you, teacher.
Thank you,
teacher, for teaching.
Thank you,
teacher.
God bless you, teacher.
us.
teacher.
Okay, thank you too.
Teacher,
Yes.
my baby brother is saying bye. And I said bye.
Okay.